Hey everyone, I'm Grant Alexander. Welcome back to House of Style. It's just me today, and I wanted to take this opportunity to have a heart-to-heart with all of you because this last week was heavy. I think most people can agree with that. And it got me thinking about the last question I started asking all of my guests. How do you describe your style in 3 words? And how important that answer is when things get heavy. And this week, I figured out my 3 words. I'll share those at the end of the episode. The point of House of Style is to show you that style isn't confined to fabric, form, and fashion. It's a way of thinking and being. Life has a funny way of throwing a mix of highs and lows at us, sometimes all within the same week. So the way you go about handling all of that is your style, and it shapes what type of person you are and what type of success you'll have, no matter what you're trying to accomplish. Again, I know this past week was tough for a lot of people. That's why I want to talk about this now. This past week has been exactly that for me, a roller coaster of emotions, challenges, and unexpected, fantastic things and blessings. It was a really rough 5, 6, 7 days. It started off with learning that one of my oldest friends, they had to make an impossible decision about a baby that was going to be born with significant developmental disabilities and probably wouldn't survive birth. And the weight of that and being there and understanding and knowing what they're going through was a lot. So that's how we started off the week. Monday, we filmed a podcast episode with a beloved Food Network chef. That was so much fun. It's somebody I see on TV all the time. I love watching. I think they have incredible energy, and I'm really excited for everybody to get to see that episode coming soon. And Tuesday was tough. I won't lie. Tuesday was tough for so many reasons, and I know right away. I try not to date episodes, but this was election day. And so some people are thinking, oh, he thinks it's tough because of the results, but it's so much more than that. I learned that a dear friend, a good friend of the show, one of their parents passed away. And again, not while I tried to date the episodes for longevity purposes, but the US election was that same day. So after finding out about that friend, just hearing and watching, but listening to the rhetoric around the election, that current rhetoric, it's so demoralizing, and I think so many people feel it. It sounds like America's falling apart, and it's depressing no matter what side you're on. So the general sentiment in America, portrayed by most media, and now even podcasts with clear leanings, there was that general cloud of uncertainty on Tuesday hanging over many people. Then on Tuesday night, I found out about a good client's teenage son who tragically lost his life. And that hurt and hit me even more. It's never easy knowing someone you care about going through such pain. So there was a lot of pain in 3 days in a row. So as you can imagine, these events have weighed heavily on my heart. And I was up all Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, not because of the election, but because that's when I got the final version of the podcast episode we released that day. And, we are a small team putting on this incredible show for you every week. And it's something we're really proud of, but it's meant a lot of late nights and early mornings. So I had to finish writing all of the show notes and descriptions, creating the episode artwork for the various distribution channels, and creating the clips we shared on socials minutes before they went live. We released the episode. I took a quick nap, and when I woke up 20 minutes later, nap shouldn't be more than 20 minutes, I received an email from a podcast agency saying they had seen House of Style on Apple Podcasts Society and Culture chart and asked if we were interested in representation and help with monetizing the podcast. I was like, what? And a couple hours later, we got another similar email. So amidst all the sadness, exhaustion, and work, there were some incredible highs. And I thought, 2 emails mentioned the top shows chart. I had to check for myself. Now, I've been keeping our stats pretty close to my chest for a few reasons. One, creating this podcast was never about making money, and it never will be. It was to start building the House of Style brand and legitimizing us and the overarching business to investors. Second, I didn't really believe it was anything to write home about because it hasn't led to the $42 million investment I'm trying to secure. And that is the goal. Lastly, I don't do a great job of celebrating wins, which is something I talked about in the 2-part episode with Yasin and Sean Terrio. So listen to those if you haven't yet. And thinking we've done anything big at this point would, to me, be irrational and lead to complacency. But on Wednesday, I learned that our podcast cracked the top 150 in Apple Podcast Society and Culture category. Like, can you believe that? Only 11 episodes in, I guess now 12 today's, and we are already making mini waves. It's humbling and exhilarating all at once. Thank you for those that have been listening since the beginning and providing feedback, because that feedback has been so helpful. I always believed the idea would resonate with people, and it makes me happy that, at least early on, that seems to be the case. And if that wasn't enough, Wednesday night, multiple potential sponsors said yes to meetings. And the idea that we'll soon have sponsors supporting the show is just, wow, it's amazing. It feels like everything I've been working towards is starting to materialize. And I'm not just talking about the months we've been working on getting this podcast out in the world. I'm talking about the years of work I've put into building something bigger, and the years I've been working on all of this. In the last year that I've put everything in me and made so many sacrifices for the overarching House of Style concept, while essentially cutting off all revenue streams I had coming in to pursue this full time, because that's how much I believe in this. And I know I haven't shared all of the details of the business. We'll get an episode or two that I start to share more and more. But if you're curious right now, you can visit revolutioninretail.com. I'll add the link in the show notes and the description as well. Now, getting back to it and reflecting on this whirlwind of a week, I've been thinking a lot about the last question I started to ask all my guests. How do you describe your style in 3 words? It's a question that often brings out insightful answers, and it's one that I've pondered myself many times, especially as of late. In the past, I probably would have chosen words like creative, innovative, bold, or contrarian to describe my style. They're words that speak to aesthetics or creativity or a certain flair. But this week has really shifted something in me. It's reminded me of the fundamental truth that no matter what's happening around us, good or bad, we have to keep moving forward, because there's always something, good or bad, happening to us or those around us and those close to us. You have to keep moving to attain your goals. You see, life doesn't pause for us to catch our breath. And when we're faced with loss, adversity, or even success, we have a choice in how we respond. And every choice you make, big or small, paints the canvas of your style. Every time and constantly, you have to keep making that choice. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to let the weight of circumstances slow us down. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that action is the antidote to stagnation. If there's something in your life that you're unhappy with, you have to put in the effort to change it. Wishing and waiting won't make it better. Complaining won't make it better. Complaining about the election isn't going to make it better. It doesn't matter if it's personal growth, a career goal, or a relationship. Progress requires us to take that first step, even when it's hard. And the harder it is, the more important taking that first step is. I know starting is often the most daunting part. That gap between thinking about doing something and actually doing it can feel enormous. I feel this all the time. But once you take that initial leap, momentum builds, and each small action makes the next one a little easier. I pitch this and I tell people about this all the time, but one of my favorite books, James Clear, talks about this concept that the small action makes the next one that much easier. And one small change those small changes really add up to a huge change. And he talks about that in one of the best books I've ever read, Atomic Habits. And this week, despite the heaviness, I pushed myself to stay engaged, to keep working on the podcast and getting the investment, to reach out to those who need support, and to embrace the positive developments with gratitude. And it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I started this podcast to show you how style isn't just about fashion or how we present ourselves outwardly. It's about our approach to life. It's in the way we tackle challenges, the attitude we bring to our endeavors, and the consistency with which we pursue our goals. I know a lot of people are frustrated or hurting right now. It might be in your job, in a relationship. It might be with the election, with family events or losses, with whatever it might be. What you choose to do next shows your style. Style is a blend of choices that reflects your values, those passions, and the personality. It's okay to let yourself feel for a minute or for a little, but what are you going to do next? How are you going to make it better? Stop focusing on what happened or even why it happened. The why can be important so you don't make that mistake again in the future. Have the courage to reframe your thoughts. If you start focusing on the what and the how of the future, you're going to see changes that you want to see. If you're upset about politics in the direction something's going, do something about it. Step up. Make a change, whether it's something little or something that's big. But most importantly, stop seeing everybody else as enemies. We're not enemies. America and we are much greater than one person, one administration. Doesn't matter which side you're on or for right now. I agree that a lot of people saw it kind of as issues or character, and there's plenty to say on both sides. But everyone gets that choice. That's the wonderful thing about America, and we can't be upset at other people for how they're living their lives and how they see who might impact it a certain way. That's not up to us. But what is up to us and what can be up to you is what you do about it, what you do next. Instead of making the next 4 years about how awful one side has been, let's figure out what we can actually do together or what will make it less bad. That's a great starting point. There's always something to do. And if we reframe it, instead of thinking about, if you're a Democrat, stop blaming, stop thinking about what went wrong. Start thinking about the future and what you can do better, how you can reattract those people you lost touch with. Whatever it is, the politics of it don't matter right now. It's about the people, and it's about you and your style and how you're going to deal with things moving forward. So circling back to that pivotal question I ask all my guests, how do you describe your style in 3 words? I found that my answer has evolved. So what are my 3 words? Get to work. Because at the end of the day, it's about rolling up our sleeves and taking action. It's about not letting the highs make us complacent or the lows deter us. It's about understanding that progress is built on perseverance and wanting to improve, to be or do better. Get to work embodies a mindset. It's a commitment to moving forward regardless of the obstacles. It's a reminder that dreams are achieved not just through vision, but through consistent effort. So I want to leave you with this. whatever you're facing right now, whatever dreams you're nurturing, whatever challenges you're grappling with, take that first step. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for things to feel right. Take that first step, no matter how small. Just start. Get to work. It's your style, and style has the power to inspire others and transform the ordinary into extraordinary. So what are you going to do to take whatever your small complaint is, whatever you want to see change? What are you going to do to see change and make it extraordinary? So just start, get to work. Thank you for joining me in this solo episode. Moving forward, we're going to have some fun team episodes where I bring in team members from House of Style and who's helped with the podcast, the business, and help them dive further into our awesome guest episodes and just topics we want to spend a little more time on and that we think will be fun and bring some more value. I appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of this journey. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. Top 50, top 25, we'll see. It will be up to all of us, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please share this with at least one person you think will get a kick out of it and enjoy this and find value. And until next time, this is House of Style. Now get to work.